You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Kessel Run Weekly. My name is Danny.
And I'm Kristen, and welcome to our Resistance Review for Episode 6, Signal from Sector 6.
There it is. That's an old Darius G-class freighter. Looks like a pirate raid gone bad.
There's a pirate ship still docked. Well, the other one got obliterated.
You picking up any life signs, BB-8? You got survivors? Several. Well, let's hope they're not the bad guys. Let's move, kid. There's a docking rail on the other side.
I didn't realize the Resistance fought pirates.
Listen, there are a lot of dangers out there in the galaxy. When people are in need, we help. So keep your eyes open.
So Kristen,
Don't do it.
I wasn't.
Don't.
I was actually going to start with my first thoughts, because I know I always throw that on you.
You do. That's why I was like, don't do it, because you're always like, Kristen. First thoughts.
I'm trying to shake it up a little bit, just be a little bit more considerate.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't mind giving you my first thoughts on this one.
Oh, really?
If you want that.
Let's hear it. I'm excited to know what you think of this one.
So far, I have to say this is probably my favorite episode.
Really?
I think so. It really kept me drawn in the whole time. There was a lot more action to it. Just a lot more, story, I feel like. It wasn't just like a kind of thing. I mean, yeah, there was some giggle, ha-ha kind of moments and stuff that made it really fun and cute, but...
It was a good mixture of a lot of things, though.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. We saw an OG, original character. Should I say OC?
Sure. Why not? I don't know.
I know, right? Because he was an original gangster, so that OG didn't make no sense.
I like original gangster.
I do too. But yeah, we got to see an old character, an old friend, a couple. Well, not really, just one. And then somebody who looked like another one that thought we might lead to somebody else, but realized it wasn't. It was just a species.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so it was exciting because Poe returned.
Poe, yes,
Yeah,
Poe did
Poe
return.
came back, and I was worried that Poe would just kind of be I guess the transition character, the one we're familiar with in the first episode, and then he'd never come back.
I mean, that's really what it seemed like for a minute, because even when Kaz went to go to transmit information to Poe,
it wasn't
Poe was on a mission.
Yeah, it was Aloe Asti, yeah.
Which I'm sure there was a good reason for it. Oh yeah, this is going to lead somewhere eventually, and you'll understand why Poe wasn't there. But it was kind of just but what?
It's but I report to Commander Dameron.
Right.
But yeah, no, he seemed like he was just going to be one that was kind of passing, and I was worried about that. So it was really exciting to see him return this time.
Right. He was on screen for a good while too. He didn't just come and go.
It was a Poe and Kaz episode.
Right.
I liked that a lot.
Most definitely. So Danny, tell me what you thought about this episode.
So I really enjoyed it too. I'm with you. It sucked me in a lot more. It felt like it should have been like a Halloween monster episode.
Not quite, but I do.
There were moments. It kind of reminded me, and it was probably just kind of the feel of it, not necessarily how it played out. But when we reviewed Always Two There Are, kind of gave me you're on the space station, it's kind of creepy, nobody's there, and all this other kind of stuff. Except in this scenario, they're crazy monkey lizards that are jumping on your face. And little salacious crumbs everywhere.
What did he call them?
Koakian monkey lizards. Uh-huh. I actually never knew the species name until this episode. When he said that, I was like, so that's what they are.
Uh-huh.
I always called them salacious crumbs.
I mean, it makes sense. So we saw salacious, and I was like, wait.
Well, and you were considerate, because you were like, was that salacious? Or was it his species? It's not all of them are salacious.
Right, let's see, I knew that.
Yeah, of course you knew that. All I know is that Jabba and Hondo have one. That's it.
Yes, and as they approached that ship with this stuff on it, it was very clear that they were pirates.
Yes.
That docked. So that's what our first thought was, is are we about to see Hondo?
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
That would be interesting.
It would have been, but...
So kind of expanding a little bit outside of the episode, so because Hondo's supposed to be in Galaxy's Edge in 2019, and then Galaxy's Edge takes place in the sequel trilogy because it's canon. Mm-hmm. When you go there, you will literally be a Star Wars. So in that instance, does that mean that Hondo is still alive if he's a character in Galaxy's Edge? So it almost kind of confirms the story.
I mean, yeah, honestly though, if Hondo would have been in this, I think I'd have been a little disappointed.
It would almost been too crowded.
Not even that, but like, he's one of the first ones that I feel like makes really good friends with Ezra. Mm-hmm.
That's true, yeah.
And I know when
in a very strange way, but yes.
Yes, in a very strange way. But I know him and Ezra have this little like bond. Mm-hmm. And I just think it'd been really odd to throw out this new show that I'm pretty sure everyone at first, when they first saw the people on here, everyone was like, it's Ezra.
Yeah.
It's not Ezra. But I think it's been really weird to like have the same story almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Poe, Kaz, meet Hondo, the pirate, who always tries to make silly deals to get out of trouble.
Right. He's always in it for himself, and then you're like, oh, it's just Hondo.
Right. I just think it wouldn't have sat well with me. I think I would have been like, so we're doing this again?
Right.
Like another kid.
Yeah.
Same old pirate. Same sleazy tricks. Like,
yeah.
It just, I would have been mad.
In my thought with it, because I know you'd mentioned Hondo, my first thought of it was, it's a trap. The whole thing. I was like, this is a trap. This is not okay.
You weren't really super wrong, though.
But yeah, so I mean, because essentially they come across it because Poe wants to have a conversation with Kaz and doesn't want to do it on world. He wants to do it off world, like away from everything. No transmissions,
right?
All this other kind of stuff, and they kind of were playing around in X-wings, which was cool.
Very cool. I really like Kaz's X-wing that he got. It was kind of like
it's like a burgundy silver kind of look.
Yeah, it was like a burgundy, like a dark wine / purple kind of color. And I told Danny during the episode, I was like, if I could pick an X-wing, that would be the color I want. It's pretty.
What'd you think of his, well, I guess it's a BB unit, CB-23?
I don't have much thoughts on it, really. She's cute.
A little sassy.
She was just very cute. I like how she matched the plane.
Yeah.
The X-wing. I thought it was cute because I don't feel like a lot of them normally match.
No, normally not.
So, I mean, the thing though, too, is I know...
Poe accessorized this time.
Yeah. Well, he did. And that's the thing that... And I don't know if it was really meant to happen like that, because even he said that, you know, he was just borrowing that one until BB-8 came back.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Poe was still flying the blue X-Wing, which means he had that one in his X-Wing.
Which, spoiler alert, that one blows up in Force Awakens, but yeah.
Why you gotta ruin everything, Danny? No, I'm just kidding. But, so, I mean, I guess, like, maybe the colors weren't intentional.
Okay.
But I liked the idea that they did match.
Mm-hmm. It was cool.
It was. Yeah. I liked it. Cause like I said,
I liked seeing a different kind of BB unit, too. They don't all just look like BB-8.
Right, because, I mean, to me, this one looked a little bit more, almost more like 9E with the head.
A little. Yeah, his head was a little more... Not
quite rounded.
It was round, kind of, but then it was flat on top almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it had an even mix, I think, almost between BB-9E and BB-8.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but very cool, very different. I like the colors. I like that it was a female droid, too.
Yeah.
Because even BB-8 and this little CB had a little moment where they were like...
They did.
Because she was really pushing her weight at first. She was like, oh, no. Like, I'm taking care of your human right now. I will lead the way, and I will...
It's like, while you're off playing and having a vacation,
right.
I'm taking care of Poe.
I'm in charge here. So she really did push her weight around there for a minute, and then after BB-8 helped her from getting attacked from the little
monkey lizards,
it was kind of like one of those like, oh my gosh, my hero.
It was.
Kind of moments. And he was just like,
Yeah.
So.
BB-8's like, yeah, that was me.
Yep.
But yeah, so we're on the ship and everything, and Kaz in his infinite wisdom,
Lord.
as they open up the door and they start to enter before they find out about the monkey lizards and all that kind of stuff.
They fight about anything in that ship.
Kaz is like, hello? Is anyone there? Hello? And like Poe just kind of looks over his shoulder like, dude, seriously?
Yeah, like if I'd have been Poe, I just would have smacked him.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have dealt with that.
And this was a moment, because I know I've been in defense of Kaz from the beginning, because, I mean, I don't mind Kaz. There are moments where it's just kind of like, okay, dude, get a brain. Like, it's like you're not using your little processor up there. You're just kind of here. It's almost like there's no filter and no process.
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
no thought
the second
process.
that he thinks of it, it comes out, and then that's what it is.
Right. So it's like
yeah.
you just figured out that this ship has a help distress signal.
Mm-hmm.
There's pirates on it, supposedly, and yet there's still life forms, and you're gonna just like open the door and be like, hello?
Mr. Pirate, sir, we just want to board and make sure you're okay.
Right. It just reminds me of that joke where like there's a burglar in your house or something, and it's like, hello? Is anyone in the kitchen? Can you make me a sandwich? What?
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know what he was expecting, but I mean, and maybe it was, and I think it was just that immaturity of his character.
It is. I mean, I just wish something would have talked back to him.
Right. It really tripped him out.
It really would have. It'd been really funny though. I would have laughed really hard.
But yeah, so they're, and that's the thing is like with Kaz, in this episode, he did kind of get a little bit on my nerves. Like, just ever so slightly. Because I was just kind of like, okay, like, grown-ups are here. Calm down.
I mean, but...
let's, because I wouldn't have minded if he would have at least, like, attempted to be helpful, I guess, to back up Poe or something like that. Because Poe even mentions in it that he was in the Imperial, or not the Imperial Navy, the New Republic Navy. That Kaz was.
Yeah.
And everything. And so I'm like, okay, he went through the Navy, like, this dude knows a thing or two. Whether it be in theory or in practice, he's been taught stuff. He should be somewhat disciplined, but his first instinct to go into an empty ship is, hello?
Yeah, this is to me where, like, I feel like sometimes the character's backstory doesn't line up to his character at the moment.
Yeah.
Because even in the earlier part of this episode, when they first got into the ship, they were just kind of flying around a little astrofield, and Poe was like, let me show you a cool trick. Mm-hmm. And he does this thing where he almost runs into a rock and, like, pulls up just in time and kind of, like, stops and then thrusts upward.
Which I thought he was going to do what he does in Last Jedi. The way that he had said it or something, I can't remember how he
says
called
about like
it.
a backward tailspin or something like
yeah,
that.
like some kind of tailspin. The first thing I thought, I was like, oh, he's going to teach him the move from the Dreadnought.
Honest to God, I didn't really think about that move specifically, but I pictured something similar to that, where like you would turn your
the Fast and Furious X-Wings.
Pretty much. I mean, that's all I can think about. Is all of a sudden you're going like straight. Next thing you know, your whole car is just turned like.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it was a cool move though.
Was still cool,
and so then Kaz was all like his little self and was like, "Oh, I could do that in my sleep." And attempts it and smacks his ship on a rock twice.
Right.
Like, not super hard, but, I mean, you heard it.
It was bad enough to where, like, when Kaz started getting, like, a little alert or whatever, it was the distress signal he was picking up. But the first thing I even said out loud, I was like, did he damage his ship already?
Right.
Like,
We both thought that. So, I don't know, like... And, you know, he was all excited to fly again, and the little bit that we've seen of him flying has been really good. And I'm not saying, like, oh, he should have already known that trick, or he should have done it first try, but like you said, there's just all this experience, I feel like, behind him that doesn't add up to his character right now.
Yeah. It's a lot of talk right now at this point, and so I'm wondering if maybe there's an explanation to that maybe he's talked himself up, because I don't know that anyone's really said that he is what he says he is.
Right. Maybe. And maybe that could kind of foreshadow back on the first episode when he said something about he was the best pilot or something like that. And that's when
oh yeah, when Niku
went around and like told everyone that he was the best pilot, and it kind of got out of hand. And so he was like essentially thought of as this like pilot god. or something.
Pilot God.
Yeah.
Oh, pilot gods.
And it makes me wonder too about like his dad. Like, how much has his dad's name influenced what he does or what he's done? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he was in the Navy, and maybe he.
Well, and he could be far enough out to where he could be anyone he wants to be at this point. Because, I mean, we really don't know for sure anything about his background, other than it's made for us to think that his dad is a senator. And
like I said, it makes me wonder what kind of weight his dad's name holds. Because, like, you know, maybe he was about to jump out of a plane, he chickened out, but he still got an A.
It's possible. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because, I mean, he does mention, I think, in the very first episode that all his life things have just been kind of given to him.
Right. So maybe he was in it, but, like, you know what I mean? Maybe he didn't do everything he was supposed to do, but he still was looked at as, like, a great student. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
So, because Daddy was there to kind of be like, oh, I'll pay his way through.
Right.
Or, it's my name. Like, my name has meaning. Like,
this guy's the worst. I'll give you $5,000 if you pass him.
Right. Exactly. So it's just, who's to say that? I mean, yeah, maybe he did go through the Imperial Navy thing, whatever that was.
Yeah, the Republic Navy.
Republic. Yeah. My bad. Wrong
I'm
name.
so used to saying Imperial, though, before Navy. It's the only time you really ever hear it.
Right.
But yeah.
So maybe he did, but maybe it just wasn't the way we thought.
That's true. So, and it goes back to knowing more about Kaz. I'm still interested to know more about him and his backstory. Because as it stands now, even though this was a fun episode, there's really not much semblance of a main story, you know?
Right.
We had something kind of forming with Captain Doza in the tower and everything, and him working with the First Order and all this other kind of stuff. And so all of a sudden that started, and it still really hasn't taken shape, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I understand these are like 20, 30-minute episodes, so, I mean, I feel like you're doing yourself, like, an injustice, I guess, for imagining that so much is going to happen in one tiny episode.
Yeah.
But it's just really, like, disheartening when you're sitting here, like I said, and I've said this in, like, multiple episodes at this point, that to me, this show is not what I thought it was going to be. I'm not saying that it's like a terrible show, like, oh, it's awful, I hate it, ugh, gross. But, I don't know, like, just the previews made me think it was going to be something a little different. Just the way it's been going so far, it's been very hodgepodgey to me. Like, there's been very tiny bits of the story, like, Spy, First Order, Captain Doza. Pirates, yeah. Just tiny little pieces that sometimes click together, but overall, there's not a full story. Like with Clone Wars, like you want to watch the next one and the next one and the next one because they all pretty much tie together. Every now and then,
even if they're different stories, for the most part, they still work together.
Right. And every now and then there's one, because I remember watching one with you, and we got through this little arc, and the next one didn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
But it's because it went to like, or it did after a second.
Skipped around a few,
but there's probably 2 other episodes that were in like, you know, the beginning of this season or in the last season that complete an arc and make it make sense.
Right.
So there's always still a how and a will, I guess, and a whatever. But right now it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's bad writing, but I mean...
Well, and I don't think it's that at all either. I think, in all honesty, a lot of it is kind of more attributed to just... It's different storytelling. I mean, when it was set to air, they said that it was going to be more directed toward a younger audience and everything, which is perfectly fine. Not a complaint at all. But you do get that feeling throughout the series. It's not necessarily one where you're just like, oh man, yeah, high stakes right now. It's kind of a flavor of the week at the moment, where it's like it's setting the pieces, but it hasn't come together quite yet.
Right.
My worry is that we're already over halfway through the first season, and
there's no big...
We have hints of a story, but there's no big, like, this is the tunnel we're taking.
Right,
kind of thing.
Like we're still waiting for the base to drop.
Right, exactly. Yes, exactly. But with like Rebels and all those other ones, I mean, even in the name Star Wars Rebels, you had it laid out that this was the story. This is what was happening. and it was kind of a thoroughfare through the entire series. So I don't know. I am a little worried about how the story's going. Maybe it's just understanding more of what the series wants to be, because maybe it's not the expectation I have for it, which is perfectly fine.
Right, and that's what I was about to say too. And you know what I think as well is, honestly, I don't spend a lot of time on Disney, but the little bit that I've seen here and there, especially watching with like nieces and stuff, it seems that like most kids shows nowadays, and even I'm thinking back on older kid shows too, there was never like a story. You know what I mean? There were characters and there were stories about the characters, but there was never like if you watch season 1 through, episode 1 through 10, it's one long like story.
It's flavor of the week. It
is. It's something new every week. And I guess, I feel like if you don't do something like that, I feel like nowadays it won't keep some kids interested.
Right. And again, it may still hit its stride as something different and everything.
I think it will eventually, but
yeah, I definitely do too. But actually, so continuing into the episodes, I know we got on a long rant there.
We did.
And again, being a kids show is not a rant or a complaint or anything like that for me. I enjoy it for what it is.
Exactly.
So even though there's not this big story that I'm waiting on and the bass hasn't dropped yet, it doesn't bother me. I'm still enjoying the series, to be honest with you.
Well,
so, yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't bothered, but I'm not.
I know you're bothered. I can tell. I can definitely tell week to week which ones click with you and which ones you're like, that sucks and I hate it and I don't want it.
Whatever. But I mean, the thing is too, is I'm not letting it ruin anything for me. It's not ruining my day. It's not ruining my night. It's not ruining Star Wars for me. Like I'm just taking it for what it is.
And Ryan Johnson didn't ruin your Star Wars, right?
No, he didn't. Neither did Dave Filoni. So no, he's the one that's mainly writing this one. Or did he write? Did he write all of it, or did he just write the first episode?
He's overseeing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's not really super involved like he was with Clone Wars and Rebels. He's more so kind of overseeing it.
Right.
So yeah.
Mr. Filoni, I have a question for you. Just kidding.
His baby right now is The Mandalorian.
Right.
With Jon Favreau. So that should be
cool. But
awesome.
It will be. But like I said, I'm not letting it do anything for me, really. I'm just sitting down and I'm watching it when it comes on, and then I get to sit down and tell you guys.
Worst case scenario, it's a story of the week kind of thing, and it's fun.
Right. And at the end of it, I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it, and I really don't care either way because I'm waiting on episode 9. So.
Well, and so, and to the point about it just, just being fun, like, it kind of reminds me of Solo. Because with Solo, the whole movie, there's nothing super consequential. There's nothing that's like galaxy shaking or anything like that. It's the story of two best friends who get a ship and they have some fun. And it's just a fun movie.
Oh.
Like, there's a lot of stuff hold on. There's a lot of stuff in it that, yes, have consequences for the overall canon and the story. But overall, it was not Rogue One, where it was this weight of everything and just heavy. It was just a fun Star Wars movie to me.
Oh, so you missed the ending too?
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Did you not remember the man in the end with the robotic legs?
I remember that. Like I said, there were consequences to the canon. And yes, there were big things that happened. But overall, it was not something that was like, oh man, Han took down the Empire. Or Han's got to save the lives of all of these people on Earth, or not Earth, but on this planet, or all this whatever kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't big and consequential. It was a smaller story in scale, and to me, it was just fun. And not having the weight of the galaxy on its shoulders made it better for me, I think.
You mean not having any like Skywalkers?
Yeah, they can kind of mess stuff up sometimes. But this is not about Solo.
Wait,
this is rant night is what it is. This is rant and rabbit trail night. But on to the actual episode. So continuing.
Take 2.
Yes. So they're on the freighter and there are things lurking in the darkness.
There is. So we see after they enter real good, we see a couple pirates, like try to run for their lives, really.
Yeah. Kind of reminded me of Force Awakens.
It did.
With the Rathtars.
You know what's so funny too? Because when we first watched them enter the ship, and we saw these little cages about, and I was like, oh, those are tiny cages, and it's not anything big.
I wanted it to be puffer pigs from Rebels. I really did.
That would have been really funny. But I was like, oh, it's something tiny. Like, it's nothing big. This is cool. It's fine. Like 2 seconds later, those pirates are running for their lives, and we see some big old, like, arms. You know, can I just say what those arms reminded me of at first? We're going old school for a second here. You remember in Space Jams? Like, closer to the end, with all those little monsters bulk up, and there's that one green guy, and he gets those big old arms. I don't know why, but that's like the first thing I pictured when I saw those arms grab those pirates. Is like I thought about that guy.
Welcome to the jam.
Pretty much. Like, I feel like I need to find like you a picture now. That way you can just kind of add it as a little like clip or
I know what you're talking about.
You do? Thank God. Because I was like, oh my gosh. But I don't know why. Like, that's like the first thing I pictured was like that guy who bulks up and then
now I wish it was.
Right? It just was so much funnier to me to picture that. So that's what I thought of. And I was just kind of like, as soon as I saw those big old arms, I was just like, oh dear, I was wrong. Okay. So something...
Not tiny. Not cute. Not cuddly.
Yeah, which, I mean, I didn't think it was going to necessarily be cuddly, but I was really thinking it was going to be tiny.
Yeah.
It wasn't tiny. Was not tiny.
And what was cool, too, is so, like, once that happens, obviously, Kaz is freaked out, naturally. And he's like, what was that? And Poe's like, could have been a Rathtar, could have been a Gondark, and then he says, could have been a Reek. And Reek, if you remember, prequel love, was the, like, rhino-like creature in the Colosseum in Attack of the Clones. Ooh. Yeah, the one that mowed over Jango Fett, the one that Mace Windu killed.
Did that thing have arms, though?
No, it didn't have arms. But I think they may have heard the sound before then. I'm probably getting that backwards. But they heard the sound, and Poe drops that it might have been a Reek. And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, that's cool.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't think you'd see arms and think it's a four-legged creature that runs on all four.
No. At that point, they were just like, oh, God. Which it could have been a Gundark.
Could have been a cow. Or horse. I'm just kidding. I just think thinking like four-legged creatures that like...
a really muscular cow or a horse.
I'm just kidding. It's just funny.
A very aggressive piece of livestock. Which wasn't wrong.
Right.
But yeah, so going from there, so we get the scary moment of two pirates losing their lives to this giant armed creature. And we're wondering what in the world's going on. And then all of a sudden, there's all these like little monkey lizards everywhere. Gosh. And Poe's reaction to these things is amazing.
It was really funny.
It's like, I hate these things. I hate monkeys.
Yes, literally. Like, it was probably...
He's got a big disdain for them, too.
He does. Like, that wasn't like a little, like, ugh.
They're annoying.
I hate monkeys. Like, it was them. Like, I hate them. And he even, like, shot at a couple of them. Yeah. They kept attacking Kaz, and Kaz, like, almost lost a couple fingers, but he's
one
good.
stole Poe's blaster.
It did.
And then tried to shoot him.
Yes, it turned around and shot him. And then at another scene, because at one point, Kaz and Poe get split up, and so that's when Poe starts running after his blaster when the little monkey steals his blaster. And at that point, too, Kaz is also fighting a little monkey lizard, and it takes his flashlight.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you noticed. It's very quick because it was, like, underneath him, but you saw, the light.
Yep.
And so eventually he gets him back, and the blaster gets back and everything because he like throws something at it. It's so funny because I think at that point too, that's when he was like, "I hate those monkeys. I hate monkeys. I hate them so much. Stupid monkeys." And then poor Kaz is like fighting for his life. Essentially, they always attack his face.
He just can't get ahead.
And right, this is about the time too where the other little droid CB gets attacked. And BB-8 pulls it off and does like this, like he grabs it like with one of his little arms and like spins it around, and it flies on Kaz's face.
The monkey lizard actually looks like he's kind of enjoying it too. He's just like, wee.
Right, where am I gonna land today? And lands on Kaz's face though.
Naturally.
So that was funny. Poor Kaz.
Yeah, I know. He just couldn't get ahead. It was like he got one off, and then BB-8 slings another one on his face. He's just like, ah! Like, He reminded me of Gremlins, isn't what it reminded me of?
They do. Most definitely remind me of Gremlins.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep, and they have the signature Salacious B. Crumb laugh, which I will not attempt, but...
Please don't. Please don't, sir. But yes, they do. They do.
Yep.
Very funny. And we only see a couple of them, though, so it makes me wonder, like, was that all that was on board? Because that's all we see, other than our next big friend.
Oh, yeah. Swolacious Bikram.
Swolacious! Yes. So
this is the one that ate his Wheaties.
Right. Exactly. So at first we just see his arms. And a little later on you see Poe and Kaz and the droids make it into a room where they scan a life form. So they open up this crate and find a person. I was going to say...
A lady.
Yes, I was going to say a lady, but I don't know what kind of species she was, because she definitely wasn't human. Okay. So I didn't know. I didn't want to be, like, improper and, like, call her anything other than what she was.
Yeah.
So we don't know her species yet.
Just a lady in a crate.
But she's, like, passed out in a crate. So I think that was really odd. First off, I was like, what's this lady doing in a crate? So, I mean,
I'm telling you, the theme of this is, it's a trap.
I mean, as I'm saying, you're not wrong.
Because I was saying that the second that they found her, I was like, this isn't right.
So, I mean, first thought for anyone who finds somebody in a crate, you're probably just going to be like, oh my, she was kidnapped. Like, she's here against her will.
Why is she here?
Right. So they're nice. They get her out of the crate. They take her with them. As they exit the door, they see another open door where that nice monster is pacing back and forth. And at this point, we don't know what it is. And stupid Kaz backs up into like a table of some sorts and makes noise. And that thing is like, ah!
Yep.
Through the hole in the little door.
Horrifying.
It was horrifying because it definitely was swolacious.
It's Salacious Bikram meets Bane from Batman. That's exactly what it is.
Or meets Hulk, whichever one you want to envision. Doesn't matter.
It was horrifying.
Either way, it was awful. Very awful.
Oh, I wonder if it was like a different species of the Koakian monkey lizards. I wonder if it was like a gorilla lizard or something.
That,
crazy.
Or it makes me wonder if they were experimenting on them. And that's why it like beefed up, because maybe they were trying to figure out a way to weaponize them or something. Or maybe it was just... Maybe they're like the species like that are like rats to us, you know, where we can take a rat and we can like inject it with cancer and then heal it of cancer or something. You know what I mean? Maybe it was like something like that, but it was like, oh
trying to cure cancer and it turns it into the Incredible Hulk.
I mean, half the time, if you ever watch any movies that have me like researching them like that,
right,
they turn like zombies. So I mean, they weren't completely on the wrong foot there. It was just like one or the other. So like zombies, or you know, because
just took the most annoying
too.
Creature in Star Wars and beefed it up.
Right, and then there's even movies too, like Planet of the Apes. They experiment on monkeys, right?
There you go. Yeah.
So I mean, it was something along the lines of that, and they turned into like a giant Hulk monkey, though.
Hulk monkey.
Yes, it was awful. It wasn't cute.
The Koakian Hulk monkey.
And it wasn't nice. So obviously, whatever they injected with made it very angry. So yes, it was Hulk.
There you go.
It was Hulk because it was angry.
We have arrived.
He just didn't yell anything and be like, Hulk smash!
No, he just yelled loudly. I'm really glad it never laughed, because I feel like that would have been horrifying.
I feel like that would have been so funny, though, because I feel like it would have been one of those, like...
It would have been a slower, deeper laugh.
Right.
Oh, 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 oh.
Not quite Jabba-like, Danny. But
almost.
No. I think it would have been a little bit quicker. I don't think it would have been quite as, like, slow.
Are you going to give me an example?
No, I can't. Because I can't even think how those things laugh.
Dang it, I tried.
I'll, like, record something for you later.
Okay.
But I can't. I don't even know how they laugh, honestly. But... so that thing chased them around, and I was, you know, one of the funniest parts, too, I was like, how is Kaz the one that ends up carrying the girl when he couldn't even carry, like, a power converter or something?
Yeah! He was struggling just carrying a power converter last week, and...
Which was really off to me, because nobody else had trouble carrying that thing but Kaz. Even, like, I think the little pig was like, here you go!
Right.
And, like, gave it to him. This thing was only, like, 3
but
foot
skinny
tall.
little noodle Kaz.
Yes! Like, what? Like, logic.
He has no upper body strength. But yeah, so instead of giving them to the resistance hero, Kaz takes on the lady that they've rescued, and he's running around with her on her shoulders. So first I'm like, okay, yeah, there's no way. Like, what in the world? And then we see fatigue start to set in.
We do.
Where he's like holding her in front, and he's like, I can't do that anymore.
Oh, that makes more sense. At this point,
it's like,
too,
there's the Kaz we know and love.
Right, at this point, too, Poe and him split up again. And Poe's trying to essentially distract this swolacious monster. from getting him and the girl. So he takes it off another direction and is able to trick it and like closing the door real quick, but that doesn't last long. Until they finally get to the ship and are able to fly away, and they get back to base. Well, before that though, she wakes up and she's like, "Where am I?" And he's just like, I don't know why Kaz decides to stand over her and just stare at her like.
And then he's wondering why he just got socked in the nose.
Right, like if I literally said, "Where am I?" and you just stared at me with these like puppy dog eyes, I'm gonna kick you in the nose too, bud.
Where am I? What have you done to me?
Right, like.
Yep.
So, it kind of makes me mad though once they got her back to base, because she makes some comment, because she acts like she's not really warmed up at first, and Kaz is all like, "Oh no, she just needs time like me, like that's it." And then Yeager's like,
yeah, Yeager's like, buddy, no.
And then she makes some comment. She's like, "Oh, I'm where I need to be," or something creepy weird. Yeah. Like, "You've helped me more than you know," or something stupid.
You've helped me more than you know.
Yeah.
Kind of something like that. Because she even mentions when they have her on the transport with Yeager that he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take you to the Colossus," and immediately she's like, "The Colossus? But I'm not registered." "Oh, we'll get you registered." Of course you will, Kaz. Of course you will.
Right. Like,
why wouldn't you?
Right. Like, you don't have to be like that to everyone.
Right.
Like,
well, and that's the thing is, so, like, and I said, I can't remember if it was the episode last week or the one before, but I do love Kaz's heart, where he just genuinely just wants to help people and wants to be there for people. But this is one of those moments that kind of his actions will absolutely have a consequence. And I wonder if that's what the season is building to, because we've seen that a few times.
Right.
Where he's done something out of either complete just being nice and kind, or out of just being naive. So I wonder if it's going to come to a point where it's like all of this stirring of the pot that he's done is going to come back and bite him simultaneously.
Oh my gosh, this whole season this series is parallel.
Parallel?
It's parallel to life. Every time you try to be nice and do something good for somebody, the world kicks you down and tells you it shouldn't be nice. This is why you can't pull over and help people anymore in cars, because they'll rob you or kill you. You can't pick up hitchhikers anymore because they'll kill you and steal your money.
This has been Kristen's pessimistic minute.
Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't know.
I mean, that shouldn't keep you from wanting to help.
No,
people.
I'm not saying it shouldn't keep
not
you, but you have to imagine now.
Yeah.
You probably see people on the side of the road as you're driving down the interstate and stuff, and you're like, "Oh, I really wish I could pull over and help." I don't know if their intentions are bad.
Right.
And that's essentially what it is now, is like this poor guy's got this good heart and he wants to do so good for everyone, but everything comes back to bite him so far in the butt. Mm-hmm. It's almost like just showing him, like, no, you can't be nice. You can't do good things for some people.
Which sucks.
It does.
Because that's not who Kaz is. Kaz is the one who wouldn't take a second thought to give you the shirt off his back. Which I really like that about that character. And I think that I really hope that he doesn't lose that, because I feel like that's something really important to his character and really important to portray in the series.
Right. And maybe it won't, since, he's got this wide eyes, like he's helping the rebellion, so maybe that's kind of what it is for him. And maybe that rebellion will kind of keep the hope in him.
But at this point, he's not really scarred either.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, just because, like, I'm older and I'm more knowledgeable. But, I mean, like, you see the parallel, though. And
I see what you're saying, yeah.
I'm not saying, like, he's eventually going to be like, oh, I'm not going to stop and help that ship anymore. Like, I don't think that's ever going to be Kaz, but I was just like...
But he'll think twice, and he'll be more cautious in doing so.
Right.
I think is what it... And that's the thing, is I think that he just needs to learn how to go about it, because right now it's in absolutes. It's, oh, I'm going to, this is what's going to happen, not even considering the possibility that someone might betray him or stab him in the back or have ill intentions.
Right.
Like even with Rucklin earlier in the series, even after Rucklin betrayed him, he wasn't like, oh my god, you betrayed me. He was, holy crap, you're about to blow yourself up. Let me save you.
Right.
So, I mean, he still never thought a second about himself, which I love that about his character.
Right.
It's important to portray, and it's an awesome message.
It
especially
is.
in the real world that we live in.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I totally agree. That's why I was just like, oh my gosh, parallel.
And I think that's interesting you brought that up, though, because that could be where we see the story go. That Kaz starts to learn from him being so naive and being so trusting, that instead of not being who he is, he decides to take more caution and gather more information before just diving in head first like he does.
Well, yeah, and I would be really disappointed if we didn't see some type of growth come out of him in some form or fashion. But honestly, I'm kind of disappointed at the end of this episode because we realized that she's a pirate.
I told you she was.
Yeah, you did. I didn't know if I believed you or not.
Like, I when I saw her, I knew she looked familiar because I was pretty sure she was in. What was it? The second episode, I think, is the Triple Dark is when they showed up. So I think it was like the second or third episode, where the pirates came in, and I was pretty sure I'd seen her or her species in there. Yeah, I was like, that chick's a pirate. She's one of the pirates.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, after she's like, thanks, you've helped me more than you know, she gets in the little elevator, and who does she call? Craig and Gore.
Right.
The head of the freaking pirates.
Right. When you said that, and I was kind of like, I don't know. Look, I didn't recognize her, but I was a little disappointed that Poe was so willing to just kind of let, I guess he didn't really have much say-so in what happened after she got on the ship with Yeager and Kaz, but I just feel like him being the older one, him kind of looking over Kaz and stuff, like, I feel like he should have been more cautious about that. Like, he should have used his brain a little more to kind of decide. Maybe
I can
we
see
saved
where he
her,
maybe shares the blame a
but
little.
maybe we should drop her off at, like, Tatooine.
Right.
Or something. Or,
maybe
like,
not bring her to the place where, you're undercover.
Right. Like, or, I mean, because you already think there's a spy there. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, not a spy, but somebody working with the First Order. So it's like, I was just so bothered.
Added one more to the First Order population.
Right. And even though you wouldn't have had the best intentions, like she was kidnapped, whatever, blah, 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 but still, like, you didn't try to figure out her name. You didn't try to do any background check on her. You didn't try to figure out where she's from. You know what I mean? Like, there was no, like, oh, let's get you back to your planet. Like, why was she so willing to go somewhere when, if you thought she got kidnapped, why would she not want to go home?
Right.
Like, I just know if I got kidnapped and
really
somebody took me to
with
Asia,
just being
like,
dropped off.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you kidnap me to in Asia, like, my first thought's not going to be like, oh, let's go to the whatever cool temples over there. Like, I want to go back home.
Let's go sightseeing.
Right. Like, I want to go home. Like, I have family. Like, what? So that part really bothered me, that she wasn't, like, more, I guess, checked out.
Yeah. Definitely. And I feel like that kind of added to the it's a trap.
It did.
I did have a moment of hope, though, where I was like, ooh, did we meet somebody else from the Unknown Regions?
I know. I did, too. When we
After last week's episode, I was like, ooh, let's get more. I want more of this. What do the Unknown Regions look like? And all this other kind of stuff. But no, it's a freaking pirate.
Right. I know. Me and you both, as soon as we heard that there was a distress signal, we were both like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And this is about pirates. And I was like, okay, maybe we don't know the pirates. But maybe there's somebody else that we know.
Right? Oh, definitely. But yeah, so, I mean, now, and her name's Sonora. So now Sonora is in place. Is in contact with Craig and Gore.
See, and that's just another storyline they're going to follow somehow, because he was like,
well, it could be part of the same through line, because they are working with the First Order.
True.
But we don't know to what extent. Because, their loyalty, a pirate's loyalty can normally be bought. But with pirates, generally, I mean, they're loyal to a point. So, I mean, I wouldn't think that they're just super honorable to the First Order because they're the ones that paid. So, what if they find a better deal? What if all of a sudden, hey, we don't need you, and the pirates have to team up with Kaz, and that would be cool. I'd be down with that. But I don't know. Like, I think that would be cool. I'd be down with some kind of super turn or whatever. Because that's the thing, is I think that's the whole point of this, is showing the evils of the First Order. Because so far it is that way.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see a lot of that and everything. So what if it did extend to literally everyone? Not just the law-abiding citizen or the random world that nobody knows about, but actual people, like the pirates, the outcasts. All of a sudden, they're like, "Yo, this sucks. We're not doing this anymore," or whatever. I don't know.
I kind of think I'd be a little like, ugh, if they did that. Not because like it's pirates, and I'm not saying like, oh no, they can't be redeemed. Like,
I mean,
but it's kind of. I'm not saying that, but yes, Hondo,
but
Sabine, Bounty Hunter, Savage,
Lando.
Savage
was never
not
redeemed.
Savage. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean Savage. I meant Ventress.
Ventress, true.
I mean, I just feel like
Lando was another one too.
It's just already been done before.
It has, but it's a theme.
I don't like it. Make a new theme. Make a new one.
And they might. And
they might. And I don't want them to turn pirates around. I don't need pirates to turn around. We've already seen so many people.
At minimum, I think that Sonora might have a change of heart.
No.
Because she's going to be boots on the ground on the inside, probably trying to get close to Kaz to find out what he knows, and all that kind of stuff. So,
no.
I don't know. I'd be cool with it.
No!
That's impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes of this and everything. I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
I am honestly looking forward to next week's.
Maybe it won't let you down.
I mean, this one didn't necessarily let me down. I did. I thought this one's finally kind of giving us a good pace.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want that pace to be lost.
Yeah,
I guess.
Well, I mean, we only got 4 episodes left, so I mean, I don't know how much you could really pump the brakes towards the end. So
I feel like it just kind of sucks that we had to wait 6 episodes just to get like this far into it. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause like we said, we don't really know what's gonna happen or how they're gonna really finish up the season. Like, because it just hasn't gone. It hasn't progressed the way we think it should progress. And I'm honestly gonna be a little mad if like the biggest stuff happens like in the last 2 episodes.
It probably will.
It probably will, considering we have 4 episodes left.
That's generally how that happens. Is watch the last 2 action-packed episodes.
I know.
Yeah, but I don't know. Even if it doesn't end up being the most exciting coming through, like, in all honesty, the best way I can describe Star Wars Resistance right now is kind of easy listening. I mean, it really is. It's nothing too much to digest. It's a Star Wars snack.
Very accurate.
It really is. It's a Star Wars snack at the moment.
It is.
I definitely would love to see more substance in it. More that affects the overall canon and lore of Star Wars, because that's my favorite thing about Star Wars is the intricacy of the story and the background to it and how everything has a name and it has an origin and all this other kind of stuff. I'd love to see that really come to life in Resistance, because we get a little bit of it and kind of little nods here and there, but I want to see Resistance come to life and it really be something that just pops off the page and pops out the screen and just becomes its own something.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking forward to it. Still high hopes.
Yes.
You can be the pessimist, I'll be the optimist.
All right. I was about to say, maybe not high hopes for me, but I'm going to hold on.
Yes.
I'm going to continue on and be strong, but not many high hopes. But.
Be strong. Hang in there, buddy.
I'm gonna. But yeah, I mean, so overall, good episode. Was there anything else you wanted to add today about our
No, I think it's
review?
good. Yeah.
Okay. Cool beans. Thank you, everyone, for listening or watching our Resistance review episode. If you enjoy any of our episodes, please go rate and review us on Apple Podcast. If you leave us a 5-star review, we will read it on one of our future episodes. If you are on social media, please follow us at Kessel Run Weekly. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, we have a website, KesselRunWeekly.com.
Cool, guys. And until next time, my name is Danny.
And I'm Kristen.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.